Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating piece of research from the IEEE Access Journal. It's titled Chaos-Based Encryption Technique for Compressed H.264/AVC Videos. I know, it sounds like a mouthful, but this paper tackles a massive modern challenge. How exactly do we protect real-time video streams using the unpredictable dynamic math of chaos theory? We're going to break down exactly how these researchers figured out a way to lock down our digital video feeds and do it without sacrificing the speed and efficiency that we all rely on every single day.
So let's jump right in and look at the central dilemma of modern cybersecurity. We absolutely, desperately need to secure video from unauthorized users. Think about secure video conferencing, confidential surveillance feeds, or even proprietary streaming content. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Video streaming requires massive amounts of data moving at lightning speed. If you apply a heavy, incredibly complex lock to that data, you disrupt the stream. You get lag, you get stuttering, and basically a completely ruined user experience. So the big question is, how do you lock a video without breaking the stream?
Now you might be wondering, why not just use the standard encryption we already have? Well, standard encryption algorithms like the data encryption standard or the advanced encryption standard, they're incredibly secure, for sure, but they bring a super heavy computational burden. When you apply them to H.264 video, which is pretty much the industry standard format for coded video, these traditional methods just don't fit. H.264 requires really fast, syntax-compliant encoding. If an encryption method alters the delicate syntax of the H.264 bit stream, the decoder on the other end literally won't be able to read it at all. So we need a security solution that is intrinsically woven into the video's compression process itself.
Section 1. Decoding the stream and H.264 compression.
To really appreciate the ingenious security solution proposed in this paper, we first kind of have to understand the canvas we're working on. The H.264 standard compresses video by aggressively reducing redundancy. A raw video source enters the encode process, right? And there it undergoes intra and intra-prediction. Essentially, the codec is predicting what the image looks like rather than saving every single pixel. This predicted data is then transformed, entropy encoded, and turned into a tightly packed, compressed bit stream. Then, when you actually watch the video, the decode process reverses all of this in real time. So any encryption we introduce absolutely has to survive this rigorous mathematical transformation without breaking the final output.
The crucial point here is that H.264 compresses data by guessing missing pixels. In spatial prediction, which is known as intra-prediction, the codec relies heavily on what's called the luminance component. That's essentially the brightness data of the core anchor images, known as iframes. The whole image is divided into these tiny macro blocks, and the encoder predicts the luminance of a new block based entirely on the pixels directly adjacent to it.
And you can really see exactly how those guesses are made. For a tiny 4x4 pixel block, there are 9 different prediction modes, calculating predictions vertically, horizontally, diagonally, you name it. Then, for a larger 16x16 block, there are 4 prediction modes. This is the exact, highly delicate structure our new encryption method has to integrate with. Because if an encryption algorithm just randomly scrambles these carefully calculated directional modes, the resulting video isn't just secure, it's completely broken and entirely unplayable.
Section 2. Journey into Chaos, the mathematical solution. This brings us to the heroic solution proposed by the researchers. If standard, rigid encryption breaks the video, what if we secure it using a system that is inherently dynamic, highly sensitive, yet totally reproducible if you have the exact right key? Welcome to the mathematical realm of chaos. In math, chaos maps are nonlinear dynamic systems. They exhibit randomness-like behavior and unstable periodic orbits. The easiest way to grasp this is the butterfly effect. In a chaotic map, the tiniest, microscopic change in the initial starting key, like literally a single decimal point being slightly altered, cascades into a completely different, totally unpredictable sequence of numbers. This extreme sensitivity makes chaotic maps absolutely perfect for generating encryption keys. They're fast, highly secure, and operate natively on real numbers.
When you plot this out, mathematical chaos is visually striking. Take the Ikeda map, which models a complex series of differential equations. It just looks like a dense, unpredictable ball of scribbles. But then contrast that with the Henin map, which shows these sweeping, area-preserving mappings that fold over themselves. Now, these aren't just pretty shapes. These are mathematical engines. They can generate a relentless, unpredictable stream of data to completely mask our video's luminance pixels.
Section 3. Hiding in plain sight, cryptography and steganography.
But the researchers didn't just stop at encrypting the video. They asked a really brilliant question.
If cryptography locks a door, what if you could hide the door entirely? Let's clearly contrast these two methods. Cryptography scrambles a message to make it unreadable. The attacker knows the data is there, right? They just can't read it with the key. Steganography, on the other hand, hides the message entirely, so the intruder doesn't even know it exists. The researchers decided that the ultimate security for H.264 video would be to use chaos mathematics to do both of these things simultaneously.
So let's break down this hybrid solution into 3 simple steps. First up, the algorithm uses a chaotic map to generate a highly random, totally unpredictable key. Second, it uses that exact key to encrypt the luminance component, again the brightness data, of a high-resolution video frame during that intra-prediction phase we talked about. Finally, acting as the ultimate Trojan horse, it takes a separate, low-resolution video frame, encrypts it, and hides it completely within the high-resolution frame. The result? The data is secure, it's hidden, and it remains perfectly syntax compliant with the H.264 codec.
Section 4. The verdict. Measuring security metrics.
So, does this complex dance of chaos math and video compression actually work outside the lab? To prove their algorithm, the researchers measured its performance using several strict technical metrics. Mean squared error, or MSE, measures the visual degradation between the original video and the decrypted video. Ideally, this should be as low as possible for the authorized user. Peak signal-to-noise ratio, or PSNR, similarly measures the quality of the decrypted video. And finally, the number of pixels change rate, or NPCR. This evaluates how well the encryption masks the original image. A high NPCR basically means the encrypted frame looks like absolute static, proving that the original data is thoroughly hidden from any attackers.
The researchers tested the Ikeda map, they tested the Hanon map, and a third map called the logistic chaotic map, which is based on the Verhelst model. When they ran all the numbers through the MSE, PSNR, and NPCR metrics, a clear victor emerged. The paper's ultimate finding is that the logistic chaotic map algorithm provided the absolute best resistance to attacks. It achieved excellent visual quality for authorized users, all while maintaining an incredibly robust defense against unauthorized intrusion. It was a real game changer.
To sum up their findings, the researchers confidently concluded, quote, "The suggested approaches have shown to be more resistant to many sorts of attacks and is recommended for future using in real-time applications." They basically successfully proved that, yeah, you can indeed lock a high-speed video stream without breaking it, just so long as you let a little bit of mathematical chaos guide the way. This explainer highlights a beautiful paradox, doesn't it? That the unpredictable, wild nature of chaos theory is exactly what we need to bring order and security to our fastest digital communications. As we increasingly rely on high-definition video streaming for absolutely everything, from global communication to national security, we have to ask, what other invisible, chaotic patterns are out there just waiting to secure our digital world? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep looking for the hidden structures all around us.